Welcome everybody to another episode of the Red Flex. And you know how this one's going to start. The whole world will say it along with me. The only channel in the world run by four brothers from Manchester that support Manchester United. Welcome everybody. We've got a action-packed show tonight. We will start off today's show with discussing Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's press conference. We will then move on to a topic that has been trending worldwide. Will Paul Pogba make the lineup for the massive game against Chelsea tomorrow? We will then move on to one of the new boys, Edison Cavani. Will he make his anticipated debut tomorrow? And then finally, we will get the squad prediction from Abdul and Harris. Abdul and Harris, welcome. Thank you very much for attending today's show. Let's get straight to it. Abdul, please give us the thoughts and your analysis of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer in his press conference.
Yeah, it was a very interesting press conference. I think I mentioned in one of my previous videos, the press conference against Newcastle, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wasn't as confident. He was looking down a lot. In this press conference, he's gone kind of back to how he usually does his kind of press conferences, answering the questions, giving a lot of detail, looking up at the camera. And he gave quite a lot of interesting information, in fact. So the thing about Mason Greenwood, he said he's not someone who's got any issues with his punctuality. He was saying whether or not he's just trying to keep it in-house or not, I'm not too sure about that. But obviously something would have been up. He didn't really say he was injured, so I'm not really sure why he wasn't in the last two squads. But I think he's trying to keep it in-house. I think we had a lot of leaks recently and he wants to keep it in-house. So that, to be honest, I think that's kind of a positive thing now. Also, he did mention Cavani. He's mentioned Harry Maguire. He's mentioned Twinzabi. So all those three should be fit to be in the squad. So let's hope we can see maybe Cavani make a debut. I know we're going to talk about that later. Yeah, just interesting. There were a lot of questions asked, and he's giving a lot of information. So I guess Chelsea, he's saying that the squad's now much fitter, and there's more kind of competition for places, and he's expecting another good performance against Chelsea.
Yeah, no, that's great stuff. I mean, with Mason Greenwood, there's reports circulating that he's been given a bit of a dressing down for his behaviour, but in a way, it's actually good. There's been so many leaks, as you said, over the years, and I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is trying to keep up to the traditions and trying to keep everything in-house. Harris, what was your thoughts on the press conference, and what were the things that really stood out for yourself?
I think Abdul's kind of covered the main points anyway, but yeah, I totally agree about the Mason Greenwood situation. As I said in the last show, not really bothered if he was late, wasn't late, what's going on. Keep it in-house. If it's an issue that needs to be sorted, needs to get disciplined, whatever it is, fine. As long as he performs on the pitch whenever he's called upon, and he does the business and he performs how he's been doing over the last year or so, I've got absolutely no issues with that whatsoever. Main point for me is, yeah, obviously we've got confidence. Everything's looking good. I heard the podcast on the Sky Sports football show where they had Juan Mata on, and I was listening to that quite earlier on today, and he seemed very, very confident about what's going on. And you know, he said that the players gave the right reaction after that drubbing against Tottenham, after that mauling. You know, it was a great reaction against Newcastle, and like an even better one against PSG. Again, for me, you know, the away performance has never ever been an issue. I think, you know, again, Statman, they call me, don't they? What is it? I think it's 10 away wins on the trot in all competition, which is a record for us. So yeah, we didn't even get that under Fergie. So
yeah, I think it's 10 excluding neutral venues. Yeah.
Is it? Yeah.
Little disclaimer.
So, for me, playing away from home against big boys is, I'm always fairly confident because, you know, we've got a plan, we've got a structure. As I said on the show against PSG, at home you have to play a slightly different way, even though technically there's no fans, there's no kind of, there's no emphasis to kind of be on the front foot. But obviously, mentally when you're at home, you want to play a certain way, and it'd be interesting to see how he kind of sets the team up, whether he is happy just to sit back and we play the same way, or whether he wants to kind of change it up a little bit and go with different personnel and different tactics. But I guess we'll find out tomorrow at 4:30, won't we?
Yeah, I mean, I think the real question everybody wants to know is where you get the stats from, but maybe we can reveal that another day.
I think that's a whole new show.
Special edition.
Yeah. Moving on to our next discussion, Mr. Paul Pogba. He's gets a lot of opinions. He's a lot of fans pro Pogba. A lot of fans think that he's not the answer. He started the season, I think it'd be an understatement to say he's not been the best Paul Pogba, but there's been a glimpse, especially in his little cameo against PSG, that maybe things are going to turn around. My question to you, Abdul, will Paul Pogba around 4:30, I believe, or 5:30 even, will he be
5:30?
Yeah.
Will he be in the Manchester United lineup?
I think there's kind of two sides to that story. Is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer more likely to actually choose him in the starting 11 compared to what I feel? I think he's more likely to play. Then I think, if I give my opinion first of all, I don't think he should start, to be honest. I don't think he's done enough in the games he has actually started in for him to actually be in the starting against Chelsea. Although he did play well against PSG. Yeah, I think Solskjaer might start him. I think there's a very good chance he'll start, to be honest. I would like to see Van der Beek start, but based on what was said in the press conference about him, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was kind of saying he wants him to give him a bit of time just to get used to the squad, get used to how he wants to play. So that was kind of saying he isn't going to start, but maybe he was just doing that on purpose just to make Chelsea think he's not going to start. So I think he's very likely to start. I don't want him to start, to be honest. I think he should be on the bench. He hasn't done enough to earn his place in the first 11 at the moment, I think.
Okay. I'll go slightly unscripted for you, Harris, Mr. Statman. And there's quite a few decisions that Ole needs to make. The question that I would like to ask you, Harris, is Alex Telles and Fred have shown that they can offer United a different approach in terms of tactics. Obviously, Fred with the energy in the midfield, which obviously Pogba at the moment isn't showing, especially defensively. Alex Telles showing the ability he's got a good delivery, he's getting up and down the left back area. I think maybe Ryan Giggs even said that he's the solution to, he could be our Andy Robertson. Do you think that Telles and Fred will also start tomorrow? And could you tell us your thoughts on Pogba as well?
Yeah, we'll start off with Pogba, as we've kind of talked about him at the start. Very underwhelming he's been this season. For me, he's just a super sub. I'm afraid I don't see him.
Is that at the moment, you think, or in general now?
Yeah, in general, I can't see him in a Man United 11 and doing what being effective in the formation that Ole wants to play. His only saving grace could be potentially when we play against some of the weaker teams at home. They're just going to be sitting back. Potentially, then I would actually, to be fair, I probably would play him then instead of Fred or Matic or McTominay. So yeah, I probably would, but I think he's going to go cautious this game. I don't think it's going to be Paul Pogba. I think it's going to be, the same midfield that started against PSG. Whether you think Scott McTominay's played too many games, obviously you think Scott played all the games for Scotland as well. So whether he thinks he needs a rest, he might put in Matic, but no Paul Pogba for me, I'm afraid. Alex Telles and Shaw. Interesting question whether Ole feels Telles is ready for the 2 games in quick succession, having only been with the team for a short period. Whether he thinks, he has that enough information about the way we play and all that kind of stuff, and tactically, I don't know, but I think that'll be decided in training. But if they were both fully fit and etc., I'd probably go with Tellers, to be fair. I just think defensively he seems okay, but obviously the main thing is he gives us so much more going forward, so much more. Yes, obviously Shaw, I think in the last game, and against Newcastle, he did make a lot more forward runs. But I think it's just that crossing ability. You know, the fact that he doesn't have to beat a man, he can just get the ball, whip it in. You can see that he's got a really good left foot. So for me, I'd go with Shaw. Twanzebe, have we actually said that he's gonna play or not? Are we saying he is or isn't?
I personally think he has to play based on his performance.
Yes, but I don't think he's ready to play 2 games in 4 days. So for me, I'd be very surprised if he plays, to be honest. I think it's going to be the good old Lindelof and Harry Maguire back 4, which obviously isn't great, but you know, it'll do against Chelsea. But I think Twanzebe will definitely play. If he doesn't play against Chelsea, he will 100% be in the starting 11 for Leipzig on Wednesday.
Okay, I think there's a lot of things that all Manchester United fans will be looking out for. As I said, there's many decisions to be decided upon, which is, I guess, a good thing. We'll move on now to the next section of our show. A certain Uruguayan striker who, in my opinion, is probably the best out-and-out centre-forward that we have at the club, but that's not my platform to say. I will fulfill my duties as a host and I will ask the questions. Abdul, for you, Edison Cavani, will he make his debut off the bench or will he start?
I think he's almost certain not to start this game. I don't think he's fit enough. He's not sharp enough. And against a team like Chelsea, we can't kind of carry anyone in the starting 11. So he's not going to start, in my opinion. I think there's a chance he will come on, either if we need to get a goal or if we go a few goals up and the game's kind of over. I think maybe at that point he might get some minutes, but I can't see him playing more than 15 or 20 minutes if he does come on. It purely depends on how the match is going. If it's a really tight game, I don't think he's going to come on because I don't think he's actually sharp enough or fit enough for us to take that risk, to be honest, at the moment.
Okay. Question to you, Harrison. Edison Cavani, he scores multiple goals at Napoli. He had a great record at PSG. Manchester United signed him on transfer deadline day. So are you in agreement with Abdul that he's going to be a sub player? And do you think that's what he's expecting when he signed for Manchester United?
Yeah, I don't know what the sell was. I think that might be more about how much he's earning in a week rather than whether he's going to be playing every week. So to be fair, I think this would have been the perfect game for Cavani. I mean, to remember, Chelsea are going to have Luiz at the back. He's a bit of a brute. So they've got two big heavyweight defenders at the back. So it's kind of tailor made for him. Really.
I'm disappointed, Mr. Statman. Harris, David Luiz does no longer play for Chelsea. He does play for Arsenal.
He's on to Arsenal now.
It's late now. What time is it? It's 11. I was thinking about
Zuma's a big lad.
Yeah, Zuma and the former PSG man. Yeah, so again, two brutes at the back. It would have been perfect for him. He could have, bit of hustle and bustle, rough him up. But yeah, unfortunately, we may see a start for your favourite player, Gaston. Mr. Dan James may get a game. In my opinion, could be Dan James.
Mr. Dan James, if he does play tomorrow, I vow that I will not be on the following show. That's how strongly
That's a bold statement.
He should not be starting.
Well, I can see it though. Dan James, Rashford, and Greenwood up front. I can see it. I can see him doing that. Trying to play in the counter. Keep the pace. So for me,
I've got my notifications on then and see if that's actually the case.
Let's see what happens.
We'll find out, won't we?
Might be one man down for the post-game show.
But yeah, I think to answer the question, Cavani will probably come out as a sub for sure. at some point in the game.
Okay. As I said, it's going to be very interesting to see what this lineup looks like. Final question or final section of today's show. Obviously, Manchester United. What a great time it is to be a Manchester United fan over the last few days. Great results against Newcastle. Fantastic result against PSG. Obviously, the 5 at the back or 3 at the back, whatever you want to call it, served as well. I'd like to ask you then, Abdul, very quickly, what will be the formation and what will the starting lineup look like, in your opinion?
I think he's got a lot of options, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, at this point. I think, based on what he normally against Chelsea, he does like to play a diamond. So I'm going to call that. I'm going to think he's going to go for a diamond. I don't think Alex Telles is going to start. To be honest, I don't think he's still fit enough to make his debut at Old Trafford, especially in a game like this. So I think it'll be Luke Shaw. I think Harry Maguire, if he's fit, he starts. I would like to see Twinzebi, but yeah, I do kind of agree with Harris in regards to probably going to go for the kind of experienced person in Lindelof, and I'm going to have Aaron Wan-Bissaka. And then in the diamond, it's interesting whether Matic will regain his place. Will Fred continue to play in that role? It's interesting. I think because Fred has played 2 games in a row, there's a chance he might be put on the bench and Matic may start. But if Fred does start, I actually won't be surprised because he's absolutely unbelievable in the last game. And then in that kind of diamond formation, although I've said Paul Pogba shouldn't start, there's a chance he probably will if it's in that kind of diamond formation, because we don't have Martial for this game. So with that diamond formation, they can stick up 2 strikers. They can, if Greenwood is fit, could just have Rashford and Greenwood up front, and then go for that kind of 4 in the middle. So that's probably what I kind of think is going to happen. So let's see how that goes.
Okay, Harry, same question to you. What formation and what do you think the starting lineup will look like?
As you can see, like we're having so many difficulties trying to pick the formation in the team simply because
very difficult. Yeah.
So imagine what Chelsea are probably thinking there. They probably don't have a clue either, which is probably a good thing, isn't it? You know, it'll keep them on their toes. They won't really know what formation, what kind of tactics we're going to throw up. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if we went 5-3-2 again. To be honest, but Abdul's right. Yeah, I think he does like that diamond against Chelsea, or he may go for like a more of a 4-3-3. If he goes for a standard normal formation, you know, that kind of 4-2-1, 4-2-1-3 type, then Pogba, I can't see him starting at all. If he goes for a 4-3-3 or for a diamond, potentially. I'd be very surprised if Fred didn't play Pogba, to be honest, because he was, as we all agree,
he was great. He was great, yeah.
He was the man of the match, so you can't really drop him, to be fair. But yeah, I think the back 4, he probably played safe. I think I have to agree with Abdul. I just think, obviously, we don't know what goes on in the training room, but in the training pitch. But yeah, I'd be very surprised if like Twinzebi does play. I think it's asking too much for somebody who's not played for 9 months, then suddenly played two games in 4 days. I think that's too much. So I think he'll go for the normal back 4, and then midfield. I think it'll be Fred, McTominay. And he's again, it all it all does kind of depend on formation, but I think them 2 definitely will start. Obviously, you've got Fernandes as standard, and if it does end up being a front 3, then it could be any combination. It could be Rashford on the left, Greenwood up front, Mata even might get a game. I thought he was excellent against Newcastle. So again, I wouldn't be surprised if he starts this game as well. So I'm just going to say, I just think there's a lot of different options. I think whatever he goes for.
Sitting on the fence then?
Yeah, sitting on the fence. I just think everyone's in form. I think everyone's in form.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say,
tough.
I don't think, I'm not going to say, I wouldn't like this person to play or that player to play because, they've been playing poor or anything like that. So for me, any combination of a 4-3-3 or a diamond is good. Should work.
Okay, I think one thing that's been established is
what do you think,
tomorrow
Asim? What do you think?
Me personally, I think the same team should start from PSG. They've earned the right to start with a performance. Obviously, Martial can't play, but I'm in agreement that it's going to be must see at 4:30 tomorrow in terms of the lineups. We're going to wrap it up for tonight. Thank you everybody for watching tonight, and we will join you tomorrow for our post-match thoughts. We are the Red Flex. We're the only channel in the world run by four brothers from Manchester, and we will see you tomorrow. Thanks for joining us.
Just before we go, guys, 2-1 United. Get in there.
3-1 United.
Cass? What do you think, Cass? You going for a win?
Okay, I think he's gone.
He's gone, so maybe he's the prediction.
We will ask him tomorrow.
Let's just say he thinks we're going to win. So let's just make it a hat trick of
full house of wins.
Obviously, we don't have Osman on the show as well, so we can't ask him. But I think it'll be tight. I don't think it's going to be a game where either team kind of like runs away with it. So yeah, 2-1 for me. A penalty again.
Bruno Fernandes.
Another pen.
Set piece.
But yeah, I think we'll be back tomorrow, won't we? After the game, where we'll do a post-match. Hopefully, we'll be in a good mood and celebrating a good win for United.
Thanks for watching, guys. We shall see you after the match.